What's up, guys? I'm here with Jacob Gribbin and Grant Moda today. Talk NBA, talk what's going on. In the playoffs, we've had a lot of good matchups so far. So let's get straight into it. Clippers Mavericks series. Okay. Now, this is one of the best series so far, I guess, in excitement, because that game yesterday was all offense, right? And it was just absolutely amazing to watch. But also the Clippers, being a team that many expected to go to the Western Conference Finals, are in a lot of trouble right now. So what are your thoughts on how not only Luka is playing, but Kawhi's playing well, and honestly, Paul George is playing okay too. It just seems like they can't win a game, right?
Yeah. I mean, so I'm a Clipper fan, so I've been watching these religiously, and I've kind of watched the team the whole year, so I kind of have a better perspective of what's going wrong, what's happening. And during the season, the Clippers didn't really match up with the Mavericks that well. I mean, if you look at their matchups, they lost by 53 points the first one. They lost. I think they won the second one in Dallas, and then they lost the third one in Dallas.
Yeah.
And all those games, I just didn't really feel comfortable about it. And now we're kind of seeing it. Like, the Clippers say they're fully healthy, right? They kind of tanked there to avoid the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. But the thing is, you got to get there first, man. And the Clippers are in a disarray on defense, man. And let's not do this. I mean, the Clippers scored 103 the first outing in Game 1, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Second matchup, they scored 121. So the scoring is not the problem. They cannot stop Luka Doncic. Now, Luka Doncic is so good at switching. He switches from Kawhi onto Pat Bev and from Pat Bev onto Reggie Jackson. And that is giving the Clippers fits because they do not know how to recover and go cover the other players. And Tim Hardaway Jr. there's something like he's shooting 45% on threes in the series so far. He's been unbelievable. Finney Smith has shot the lights out. Even Maxi Kleber has given them great minutes. Kristaps Porzingis, he had a terrible first game, but the second game he really locked it in. He didn't really try to do too much. I mean, Grizz is going to give me that face, but I think he was something like 7 for 12 or some low number of shots or something like that. So he didn't take as many shots. He kind of did everything else, but the Clippers defense is in shambles right now. I mean, they weren't very good in the regular season, to be honest, but in the postseason, they're getting ripped apart. And to me, I mean, I hate to say this, I kind of saw this coming. I kind of low expectations, but I know I said the Clippers were going to get to the finals. I mean, I guess that was my prediction. I think they're going to lose in 5 games of this team. I mean, I don't see any way this Clipper team can minimize Luka Doncic's points. And I know that you guys are going to say, "Oh, well, but if you really watch the games, man, it's just a dismantling." There's Luka is shooting one leg threes and getting to the rim at will. If they can't stop him and the other guys are shooting 50%, it's over. There's no way you can defend that.
Gribbs, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was pretty good, Grant. But Tim Hardaway, let me pull up the stats. Pull up the stats real quick. Tim Hardaway went 6 from 8 from 3. He had a playoff career night. He's all right. But anyways, all I'm saying is the Mavericks are due for some regression. Like 6 for 8 from 3, 3 for 4, 5 for 13. Yeah, Luka's good. You can't stop Luka. But Hardaway, Porzingis, they had career nights. Not career nights, but pretty good nights. But I expect, I think the Clippers are going to take it to 7. We're forgetting how good Kawhi Leonard is. And Paul George, 1 for 7 for 3. He was all right, but I think the Clippers were the Mavericks were too hot. That was the best they could have played. And Clippers, so many turnovers. This is going to 7. I think it's going to 7. They're making that back.
Let me just chime in there, because you said something about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and you said how good they are. The thing is, the first 2 games, they were good, and they still lost. So
I don't know. Second game, Paul George, pandemic P. He 1 for 7.
He played well. Has not been the issue. Yeah, he scored 20 plus in both games.
Questionable shot, bro. He had 22 shots. When he missed the dunk, right?
He shot over 50%. He was 12 for 22.
28 and then 3 free. He's all right. He's all right. But
he's all right. Change of tone. Just because you see Twitter's it's trending playoff P. It wasn't. I mean, this is the first time. This is why the team's in trouble. And Grant has a point here. Your two superstars aren't playing bad at all. They're playing great, and they're still losing with one superstar on the other team. One. I mean, I was at the game, and Luka Doncic is so good that he had 1 point in the fourth quarter and just passed the whole fourth quarter in game one that I was at. And I mean, look, they're shooting like they're, like you said, Grant last night, the 16-17 Warriors. I mean, Tim Hardaway turned into Klay Thompson real quick. Jalen Brunson scoring inside. Maxi Kleber can hit shots. I mean, look, this team is not that good. We are witnessing this type of, and I'm not afraid to say this Michael Jordan type rise soon enough, where we see a guy
really
coming
good,
in.
Man.
I mean, not like Michael Jordan being the Pistons yet, but Michael Jordan when he was first, a couple years into the league, when he first got that playoff series win, and then you kind of saw Michael Jordan. Now he lost a couple times to Bird, lost a couple times to Isaiah Thomas, right? And then we will see in a couple of years, Doncic will start winning those titles. He's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I've really never seen anybody do the things he can do. He's a better Larry Bird, and Larry Bird couldn't pass like him. I hate to say it. Larry Bird is a great passer, couldn't pass like him. Yeah, Larry Bird could shoot better, but it's a different NBA. And we got to remember, Luka was the best player in the second best league in the world at 16. People forget that. And DeAndre Ayton still went number one. I remember that guy they got.
Marvin Bagley went too.
Okay, but you remember that Phoenix coach, and we all thought he was an idiot. The guy who coached, like Igor, whatever his name is, he was like, "I want Luka number one," and they were like, "You want Luka number one because you're like Ukrainian, and he's from Slovenia, which is like close to Ukraine." He was right.
Yeah.
Suns made a huge mistake. If they had Doncic and Booker right now, bro, and Chris Paul, the Lakers would have lost in 4 games. Like no one's beating that Suns team with that, right? That's going to be the Mavericks in a couple of years. They're going to be the best team in the NBA for a long time. If Mark Cuban can do, further due diligence on who else is good in the NBA that he can get, because this is a weak free agent class. He's going to have to pair Luka with someone through trade. You know what I'm saying?
What they were planning on was getting Giannis, right? That was what
that's not going to happen.
Direction was. I know it's not going to happen because he signed that extension, but that's what they were gearing towards this summer. They were like, we're gonna go after him. Like, we're gonna pair Luka and Giannis and try to go after it. And it didn't work out because he signed his extension.
I stand corrected. If the Clippers lose this series, there is a big free agent on the market who has yet to sign his extension. Kawhi Leonard. And that gets me into what we're going to talk about next. Now, I don't like to live in recency bias, right? I don't like to say, oh, this series is done. I mean, you lose the first 2 games at home, they're going to have a tough time winning this series. But if they do, like, hats off. They're a great team if they can come back and win this series. But let's just assume they end up losing. Does Kawhi stay with the Clippers, or does he go to a smaller market? Because he loves to avoid the big spotlight. I mean, Clippers aren't really spotlight. They're like the Angels. They're not like Showtime. I'm an Angel fan. They're not Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Like Dodgers are Showtime. Lakers are Showtime, right? He hasn't went to these big markets yet, right? He's been San Antonio, Toronto, big market, but like they didn't have a championship, right? He led them there. Then he wanted to bail from all that attention. So I don't know if the Knicks or like the Heat people are talking about are viable options. I'm thinking more Phoenix, Dallas, a team where he could just pair with somebody and like Booker or Doncic and just kind of win.
Golden State, maybe.
Golden State. Oh. What are they going to trade Wiggins? Wiggins is talk about a guy who's just, I mean, look, I don't know what he does on his daily routines, and I don't know how hard he works, but I mean, on the floor, that dude's really inconsistent.
Yes.
What do you guys think? Going back to the question, what do you guys think of where Kawhi could go if the Clippers do lose the series? Does he stay? Does he push through?
Well, my thing is this. My thing is he kind of wanted to get to LA anyways, right? Like that's what he wanted to be home. He wanted to get to LA, live in LA. Whether it be the Lakers or the Clippers, and obviously the Clippers got him before the Lakers did because he just wanted to be, not second fiddle to LeBron. He wanted to have his own team and be his own thing. But I'm having trouble thinking of where else he would go to where it'd be a better situation for. I mean, sure, the team would be a lot better if he went to Miami or if he went to Golden State or if he went to Phoenix. They
should have just told Kawhi SGA is a better fit than Paul George. We don't need Paul George.
I don't want to get into that because I could go on a whole thing about that.
Go on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Up big time there.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's perfectly fine because that's a ridiculous thing that they did. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just having trouble finding a place where he would like have a certain situation to where he would be not in the spotlight, but still the guy. I mean, he doesn't want to go to Charlotte. Like he doesn't want to go to any of these like lower teams. I think he will end up signing, but I don't know if that's the best for him in his championship case. But I still think he does. Gribb?
Don't ask me. I have no idea. Just like him, I have no idea.
Well, I know, but I mean, just an opinion.
I have no speculation either.
Kawhi, hey, granted point. Kawhi's uncle's the one running the show. I mean, he was the one who led on the Lakers and screwed the Lakers. Like he was going back to the Raptors if he didn't sign with the Clippers and kind of finesse that situation. That's where he would have gone. He wasn't going to go. The league would have been ruined with AD, LeBron, and Kawhi. In retrospect, no one wants that, right? So, yeah, but I mean, that remains to be seen. I would love to see him paired up with Luka. That'd be insane. Look, that's another thing. Nets are up 2-0. They're killing the Boston Celtics. What do we say there? Is that series done? Are the Nets just unbeatable? Or is Milwaukee, who's also up 2-0, could they beat them? Or Philly, who's going to be up 2-0?
No, the Nets are gonna sweep that team. The Celtics barely got in. I know, Gribb, you're probably gonna say, "Oh, it's gonna go to." You have all these hot takes.
Bucks?
No, I'm talking about the Nets. The Nets.
Dude, Gribb's is perfect for.
Oh, are you talking
Gribb's
about Nets
perfect
Bucks?
for TV. He sounds like
we're past the Celtics.
Oh, so Nets Bucks. Okay, Nets Bucks.
No, the Celtics are getting swept.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's what he asked. Okay.
Yeah.
Nets Bucks. God, that would be an amazing series. But I mean,
gonna happen.
I think it'll go 6. I mean, I don't see the Bucks offense keeping up with the Nets offense. Honestly, and you guys, I mean, look, they have Giannis, they have Drew Holiday, they have Chris Middleton, fine. But does that compare to James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving? Hell no, not a chance. The Nets are they're rolling on all cylinders now. They're healthy. Blake Griffin put down a poster dunk yesterday. Like, if he's doing that, I mean, granted, it is the Celtics, so it's not like great defense, but that offense is incredible. And I don't know if the Bucks can beat that 4 times at all.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think that the Nets, they are really a team that has it all offensively. The issue with them is I saw that Celtics came out and caught them off guard. Milwaukee can come on, catch them off guard. Yeah. And then maybe that turns into a close 2. Then you're like, oh my gosh, this team could actually do it. But the Nets are such a good team. Even if Milwaukee's up 2-0 in that series, they could still come back and 4-2 them. They just got so much star power. I don't think it should have happened. I know you can't really dictate the trade market. I mean, David Stern did. Let's be real. David Stern, people are like, RIP David Stern. Great. Yeah, sure. He globalized the game. He also screwed the Lakers for 10 years. Okay. So I don't love the guy. I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but Adam Silver is a much better. I mean, he's 10 times the commissioner, David Stern, in my opinion. But he understands what's going on. The issue here is the Nets are just too good of a team. I don't even think the Lakers can beat them. I really don't. I know on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you know what? The Nets are going to beat the Lakers. And then on my article, I had the Lakers in 7. I really thought about that. And I kind of think the defense matters most in the postseason. As we're seeing, the Nets have had to play defense recently. Yeah. Again, easy to play defense when the Celtics superstar Jason Tatum has 9 points in the game, 21 minutes, right? So didn't have to play much.
And you're without Jaylen Brown too.
Exactly. Who's their best defender and one of their best defenders. Sorry, Marcus Smart is probably their best defender. Robert Williams had 8 blocks in game 1 or whatever. Like they got a good team. They got a good base. No one wants to play for Kenny Age because of what he did to IT, but they'll be good. Not worried about that. Nets are going to be so hard to beat. Philly. Now this is an interesting team. The NBA is really, really, really even this year. It really is. Even with the Nets being a super team, I don't think it really should have happened. But look at what's going on with Hawks, Knicks, right? With with Clippers, Mavericks. Like people thought the Mavericks suck. People were like, oh, Mavericks suck. I'm like, they have Luka Doncic. Yeah, he had a bad year, but playoffs are a different story. Luka's locked in. He's got that heart. He's got like that mentality. He has that mentality where he's like, he still has fun with the game, but he's like absolutely prepared to do whatever it takes to win, right? So at the end of the day, this is an even NBA. Sixers could do it. It comes down to defense. Like no one's stopping Embiid. And what happens if Seth Curry and Danny Green go off? They could beat the Nets every game. I mean, it'd have to be every game, and we've seen what Danny Green has done in a 7-game series, and it's not much. But I mean, look, Milwaukee could beat him. Drew Holiday was plus 35 in his plus minus, plus 35 at halftime in 17 minutes. That's unreal. Means he's when he's
oh my God,
like two points, almost 2 points every minute. It's like insane what he's doing. I mean, people really don't get what an upgrade Drew Holiday is over Eric Bledsoe. Jazz Grizzlies pulled off a huge upset when Mitchell didn't play. I know Gribbs is like, oh bro,
yeah, here he goes.
Play. Like, bro,
yeah, here he goes.
my Grizzlies, they got it in them. They're gonna win the series, baby, or at least make it close. Not win, but they'll take it 6 games. I would have picked number 1 in the draft over Zion Williamson. I will say that till the day I die. And I would pick him number 1 over Anthony Davis, John Wall, all these guys. I would have picked number 1 because the point guard is the biggest, most impact position in sports. That's why Luka's so successful. LeBron basically plays point guard. They're a better team when Schroeder is not playing point guard. Let's be real. The Lakers when LeBron's playing point guard. So I think the Grizzlies have a shot. They're 11 deep. They got Tillman. They got you're looking at 11 deep. Like, bro, what are you talking
about?
Desmond Bane
does not have a single shot. They got 0% chance to beat the Jazz. When was the last time an 8 seed beat a 1 seed, especially a play-in in the NBA?
Dude,
top 5
best team in the NBA in the regular season.
Yeah, and the Clippers were the 4th best team in the West, and they're playing like a 12 seed.
The Jazz are gonna smack the Grizzlies by at least 20 tonight. Okay,
that's a fallacy.
That
is a fallacy.
Let me give Gribb some slack here. Let me give Gribb some slack here and say that I think we should judge the series based off this game tonight because
Mitchell's playing.
Donovan Mitchell's playing. We can't judge it off game 1. I mean, they didn't have their best player. Like the Jazz didn't have their best player. I think we should judge it off of this game because everyone will be at full strength. We'll see the full complexion of the team. I'll judge it off of them. Great win for the Grizzlies, no matter what. But I'm going to judge it off of this.
I'll tell you this, though. I'll tell you this. You know who's proved me wrong this year? Joe Ingles. I was like, dude, Joe Ingles, that guy's like garbage. And I'm like, Joe Ingles is hella good. That guy can play basketball.
Next man of the year candidate.
Bro, how many assists did he average? He looked that up. I think it was around 4 or 5. Like, he averaged a ton of assists this year in comparison to what he used to do. Like, he's become a brilliant passer. He can shoot. He can make plays. I'll tell you this, though. Someone who really is underrated on that team, whether he shoots 2 for 20 or 20 for 20, is Mike Conley. He can get players open. He really can. I mean, there's a reason at one point why he was the highest paid player in the league. And it's other than the Grizzlies were smoking Snoop Dogg's weed at that point. I know I've said that many times. I mean, I don't know why you give that guy that much money. He's a certified mediocre player. That's like Matthew Stafford. I mean,
come on.
You're like, come on, Matthew Stafford's gonna be MVP. That's what everyone is like. Matthew Stafford's, bro.
That's my Rams, baby.
Rams aren't even gonna win the division. This is a whole different conversation.
Oh my God.
We're going 49ers.
No, we'll get into that another time because I have a
49ers, but we'll go back. I'm a 49er fan. But the Jazz, man, yeah, I got my Grizzlies. They need 3 games. I think they got the toughness. It's like Memphis Trap. All these rappers like Young Dolph and
Key Glock, we got Moneybag Yo.
Moneybag Yo.
Guys are grit and grind. We're going back to the grit and grind.
Grit. It's grit. This is like the Mecca, bro. This is the new Mecca. These guys, this is like they play like they're going, like they will die if they don't win a game. Dylan Brooks, that guy's all money, all hustle. That guy was not supposed to be even drafted barely. I mean, he was good at Oregon. He made a Final Four, but like, dude, that guy had no NBA projection. all hustle. D'Anthony Melton, all hustle. Desmond Bain. People are like, Desmond Bain from TCU? That guy sucks. Dude, Desmond Bain is like looking like a center at point guard. He's huge. He's huge.
He's jacked.
I mean, like, bro, that's like, okay. I mean, dude, the Grizzlies are 11 deep. And the Jazz, yeah, they got tons of depth. Jazz are a good team. I've said this. The Jazz, most overrated team of all time. Remains to be seen whether they'll be the 04 Pistons or the 14 Hawks with Al Horford as their best player or Paul Millsap. Which one are they? Which one are they?
They won't be the Hawks. I mean, well, didn't the Hawks get to the Eastern Conference Finals though? I mean, they didn't. It wasn't a flop of a year for the Hawks when they had the best record. I mean, they still.
Who was their coach? Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah,
right?
it was Budenholzer. Yeah, Budenholzer, they had that core of. I think they had Schroeder back then too. They had him, Horford, Kyle Korver.
That's when Schroeder was really young.
Yeah. So they won't be. I mean, I still think they beat the Grizzlies.
I don't,
but probably in 6 or 7. But
I don't. I'm going all out, baby. I'm going Grizzlies. Grizzlies, all hustle, all heart, like Young Dolph, bro.
All right.
I'm telling you, all hustle, built themselves from nothing. Now they're coming into the game making money, like Young Dolph, like Moneybag Yo. Grizzlies, JA Morant, telling people Zion doesn't play winning basketball. He doesn't. That's what he's saying. He's like, I am the guard of the future. That's what he's saying. And he's got it. Jaren Jackson is 7 feet tall and can knock down threes and make come on, bro.
I want to show you a picture that you're gonna love. You've probably already seen it.
What, Jaren Jackson was like 6'9",
it's a picture of Moneybag Yo and JA Morant.
Oh, that's all the Jazz need to see.
Oh, you can't see it on this.
Yeah, I see it.
There you go. And the caption is, here's the caption. Memphis got the #1 album in the world and we made the playoffs. Talk to us different.
Made the playoffs. Bro, all you got to do is show that picture to Rudy Gobert, and he'll get COVID again and like ruin the league. I mean, he'll be so intimidated. He'll stay in his home.
Huge disliker of Rudy Gobert.
Me too. Is he like the most overrated player in the NBA or what? Like
for the money that he's getting, yes.
For the money, yeah. Look, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best defenders in the league.
Fouled out in game 1. And he barely played any minutes.
Bro, he got 4 fouls in the first half. I mean, part of the reason why the Suns lost, I mean, fouls are important. Rudy Gobert fouls a lot. I mean, Jay Crowder got 3 fouls in the first quarter yesterday, first half, and that screwed the Suns. That's a whole different
story.
It's a
good segue. We should talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We'll end that. I mean, how many series we got? Okay, before we get to the Lakers, this will take 2 seconds. 76ers, Wizards. Do we have anything to talk about? Sixers in 5 or 4? Sweep. Easy.
I think 5.
I love Westbrook. Talk about the most disrespected player. I mean, I have a friend, Sam Batania, who knows basketball, and he is one of the most knowledgeable guys about basketball. But he literally told me Russell Westbrook is the 4th best player of all time after Kobe, LeBron, and MJ. And I said,
athletically?
I'm not going to say that.
He's like,
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
He's the best. You know what? Bro, if you look at statistics, there is a serious argument about that. I disagree with them. I said that takes some courage to say that. But look, I mean, we're witnessing something with Russell Westbrook that will probably never happen again unless by Luka Doncic or Cade Cunningham or someone like that. LaMelo Ball, maybe. But is someone ever going to average 4 or 5 straight seasons? I mean, he's going to average it next year too of 22, 10, and 10. I mean, it's like, right? I mean, Westbrook has to be a top 30 player of all time, just on that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying 4th. I'm also was saying, like, he's smart. He knows what he's talking about. But he also said the Sixers are beating the Nets because defense comes down. So we'll take Sam there. Ooh. You guys don't know Sam, but we'll take it. If he's right, we will all buy him an Embiid jersey. How about that? That's how confident I am that the Sixers do not come out of the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
That's how confident I am. They are not coming out. It is Milwaukee or Brooklyn, in my opinion. And there's really. Look, you say Gribbs has like hot takes, but man, 4 weeks ago, Gribbs was like, Lakers coming out of the West and it's Milwaukee or Brooklyn. End of story. And he's probably right.
Okay. But I mean, that's not very hot. That's just a
whoa! You just said the Jazz are coming out of the West. Wait.
What?
You just said the Jazz are
the Western Conference Finals. Jazz, Lakers.
Okay. Who's winning that series?
I don't know. I like the Jazz.
You don't know, bro.
I thought you said LeBron was going to sweep the playoffs.
That's as a LeBron fan, but watching the Jazz play, ooh, they're good. They're good.
What?
They're good.
They
I like
just
that.
lost.
Bro.
Because Gobert fell out and they didn't have Mitchell. And they had a terrible shooting day. That's the only reason they lost.
I have a headache.
Let's just push that
I have
aside.
a headache. That is the worst. That is the
Lakers,
biggest stack of you know what I've ever heard in my dang life. All right. LeBron is not going to lose to Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, and Rudy Gobert and Jordan Clarkson. He will not lose. Not going to lose.
Anthony Davis cooks Rudy Gobert.
We're watching the Western Conference Finals right now. All right. Suns, Lakers. Those are the two best teams in the Western Conference.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how bro, how tough is Chris Paul? He doesn't even have a shoulder. He's coming in the game. He's like, you know what? Let's do it. Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton playing out of their minds. They're giving the Lakers serious trouble. And the Lakers are really good.
Ass too.
Well, okay. Everybody on the Lakers besides Schroeder, AD, and LeBron has been terrible. Like everyone knows that. Like the like rat next door knows that. You know, like everyone. KCP couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. Like,
I want to note that yesterday the Lakers kind of went to Marc Gasol there, and I was telling you guys they took out Drummond. They went with Gasol, and what did they do? Gasol hit 2 threes. Played great defense, really good passing. And I've been telling you guys this whole time they're saving him for something, and there was. I guess game 1 they were kind of feeling it out. I think that was a feel out game.
You know what? Lakers, I think we need to take a second. Take a second. That is this is a new segment. That is the apex point of the show. The apex. Their alpha point. That is the apex point of the show. Marc Gasol, difference maker. Marc Gasol was on the floor. Their spacing was brilliant, and they were getting out to these 12-point leads. Then they brought Drummond back in or took Mark out, and they were down to like 5. Sheesh, play Trez, bro. Trez doesn't play defense. He can't guard a pick and roll. Who cares? His heart. We need heart, bro. We need heart. That's what I love about KCP. Couldn't hit a jumper. Who cares? You can trust that guy to go after a loose ball. He has heart. He is hard-nosed, bro. And Wes Matthews. But at least he plays with heart. I mean, sheesh. We need to hit shots, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in saying that. Well, I mean, just the insertion of a guy that can run the offense at the center position, where you can take the ball out of LeBron and AD's hands and give it to Marc Gasol, and then with that run high screen and rolls with, say, Talen Horton-Tucker, Caruso. You can fade Gasol to the 3-point line and have him hit a 3 as opposed to Drummond. You run a pick and roll with him, he can only drive to the rim, and that's if that. When he gets to the rim, he's kind of shaky. He's been better recently, but the floor spacing is what they needed. And there was a moment where I knew it. It sparked in me. It was like they had Gasol. It was like a 2-man game with Gasol and LeBron, and they were just hounding LeBron in the corner. They left Gasol wide open, crowd going crazy. Suns fans were right in his ear. He was kind of hesitant. What did he do? Pulled up from 3, all net. And then the crowd just went silent. It was like timeout, Suns. Lakers got on a roll, and I was like, that's all you need to see. That's all that was championship experience right there from Gasol. That's going to be a difference maker for them.
Last thing we'll talk about. This is the last segment right here. We are going to say predicting a couple, because we know some series are going to go, Nets are going to beat we don't need to talk about that. Sixers are going to beat Washington. Okay, Hawks, Knicks. We didn't really talk about that. Trae Young's a killer. Disrespected. I got an article coming out soon about Trae Young. I've been writing and just talk about, the first person I think ever, correct me if I'm wrong, to average 26 and 9 and not make the All-Star team.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was a starter last year. Disrespect.
Yeah. The disrespect. He's basically a worse shooter, Steph Curry, but a better passer.
Yeah.
What he can do. He's like Steph Curry, very similar player. It sparks his team. Jeez. I mean, what a player. Who wins that series, though? Randall was 6 for 23 in the first game.
I really think that the Hawks are. I mean, this is something I just looked it up actually. I said this on December 30th, right? I was talking to one of my buddies from up north from school, and I said I think the Hawks will be very good, like top 6 seed. So I saw it the whole time. They got Rondo, who obviously they traded, but for Lou Williams in game 1, as much as I hate him as a Clipper fan this year, I hated him. He was terrible. He came in and scored like he went on a personal 7-0 run in game 1.
Yeah.
Like that off the bench, that experience, that
legit.
Scoring is awesome. Bogdanovic has been unreal for them.
Yeah.
He scored like 30-something during the regular season, that last stretch of games.
Yeah.
And Trae Young, I mean, he's always been an offensive guy. The question was, can he do it in the playoffs? Can he play some defense in the playoffs? But when you're scoring at a clip like that, and they did it against the Knicks, who are the number 1 defense in the league, right? Right in front of the Lakers, maybe top 3, but they were doing it against that team in MSG. And that is really something for that young kid right there, Trae Young. And for him to go in there and score that game-winning floater in MSG and talk the shit that he did, that is unbelievable. I think they're going to be really good, and I think they're going to beat this Knicks team.
Everyone says that. And look, I still think it's the Knicks. Season series was 3-0 Knicks. They won the season series. Yeah. So, I mean, look, obviously a lot can happen. I mean, playoffs are a whole different story. Mavericks didn't do great against what were they, 2-1? They did win the season series, the Mavericks. We should have looked at that differently. I think the Mavericks beat the Clippers 2 out of 3 games. So that's another thing when people are like, oh, the Clippers are going to win easy. That's not a good matchup. They ducked the Lakers to get the.
They got walked. They won them. They beat them like 53.
Let's be real though. That Clippers team would get drilled by the Suns too. The way the Suns are playing, the Suns look really. They're giving the defending champs a run for their money. That is a good team. Suns are a good team. But I'm with you there, Gribbs. What do you think of this Knicks Hawks series?
I'm not a Trae Young fan. I like him as a person, but not as a basketball player. The foul merchant. I don't like him because I lost a bunch of money last week on the last game. That last few possessions. Freaking well against the Knicks. All he was doing was looking for the foul, so then they can't guard him and he just throws up that little floater. He's got a nice floater shot. NBA. Trae Young leads the entire NBA in free throws. Because you know what he does?
He had 30.
So I'm going with the Knicks.
But he had 32, 7, and 10. He almost had a triple double, and he was 9 for 9 at free throws.
That last quarter, it was so annoying.
All right, we'll end on this. Final words for you guys. What's the final words for today?
I think one of the series to look at, the Hawks and Knicks, obviously, but I think Grizzlies Jazz is going to be a really good series. I think.
Thank you. Someone agrees
kind of being
with
pushed on. Yeah, it's kind of being pushed under the rug, because we have the Lakers Suns and we have the Luka going absolutely bonkers. But that series, I think, is going to be really good. I'm going to watch every game of that. I'm going to watch all of these, but that one I'm going to really focus on because I think that will be a really tough. Even if it goes like Gribb said, even if the Jazz win in 5, I think it'll be so hard fought that it's going to be like, wow, this team gave it their all. The Grizz did it. So, yeah, I think we should watch for these matchups that we don't really look at. I think we should watch for those. And I think those are going to be the ones that are going to come out and be some of the best that we're going to look back and say, wow, this really shaped them for the rest of the playoffs. So, okay,
Gribbs, what do you got?
I love to disagree with you guys, so I'm going to go Jazz. They're going to smack the Grizzlies tonight. They'll meet up with the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. You guys are sleeping on the Jazz.
Grizzlies. The Grizzlies will?
The Jazz. The Utah Jazz, the team to beat this year. We'll see. Taking LeBron to 7. That's my hot
take.
My 20.
Grizzlies are winning in 7, and Luka Doncic is the best player in the NBA. Thank you for your time today, guys.